So this is going to be a quick one. So this is going to be a quick state of the nation. We want primal sound. We don't want all that reverberation and everything. So now, today is, when is today? Today is Friday. So today is Venus Love and Appreciation Day, and you know, we don't do politics on my show. We know we shy away from doing all this because nothing is changing. However, it's good to bring people up to date on exactly what is happening on the ground. Okay? Because looks like it's only us, or I would say it's only on this location, what you call Africa, where you seem to forget how things work on the ground. So every other time, we update what you call the systems. You have seen it in your phone. We see that we like updating applications on your phone. We have seen that life is about updating. Now, this updating is what back in the days you still be calling, what do you call them? Is what you still be calling evolution. It's still what you call the world expanding na vitu kama hizo. Now, when you look into the money markets, when you look into the future of the country, this is shout out to you. So this is what happens when you go to what you can call their sites. So they have what you call their world. I forget the light. I don't know what to do with the light anyway. Fuck this light. I think they want me to have like makeup or something on TikTok. I can't understand. I can't figure out this algorithm on why I have to look like that. But anyway, fuck that. It's not about the looks. So when you go to their sites, when you go to their world economic programs and sites and everything, you are going to see how they update the world. And so the question is, because we talk about all these things, like we have forts, like we have people who are external, outside of us, who are doing these things to us. So the question should be, are we really victims of what is happening to us, or are we the enablers of these things to happen to us? For example, your president is very loved in the world because of going and getting what you call loans. So he is loved because even after getting all these loans, there's nothing to show for them. He is loved because he is taking a reading load, because there's a reason why Kenya as a location, the location of Africa, okay? Not necessarily because your country is important. Your country is not important in any way, shape, or form. The only reason they care about Kenya is because Kenya is on the equatorial section. Kenya is the east. Kenya is lying on an imaginary line, what you are calling the equator. And that for them is a very significant position to be when they are doing their rituals. So they cannot destroy their shrine, because this is where their shrine is, what you call kigogona for you, the people who have magogona, manyu, maja, na manyuba. So now you have a president who's taking the leading role in ensuring that no African country will ever enjoy their oil. So you are taking on what you are calling a sustainable green world bullshit, because I have to ask you, if Africa is not the one responsible for polluting the world, if Africa is not the one responsible for creating plastic, if Africa is not the one responsible for polluting the seas, then why should Africa be the one to pay for their crap? Because now we have, everywhere you turn on Twitter, we have people marching for green space. Oh, you know, green carbon. Oh, I'm ensuring the girl child. How long? That is the question. How long will you African continue being used for what you call pity party, where they take pictures of you, ensuring the girl child gets education? For how long? Yet we know the world doesn't care about women. Otherwise, by now, we'd already have women in charge. We'd already be having women. You have already shown as a country, as a Kenya, that you didn't give a fuck about Mother Karua. So how long shall we continue pretending that everything is what it is? Because at the end of the day, we have to wake up to the realization that we don't have external enemies. We are our own enemies. The Muzungu is not your enemy. Because when I turn around, I don't see a Muzungu around. When I turn around and your roads are blocked and you're waiting for the government to come and see anything, I don't see a Muzungu dumping outside. I see you allowing UMCAs getting away with these things. I see you allowing your members of parliament getting away with your funds and not repairing the roads. I see you cheering when your leaders are coming, wanakuja kumwaga mchanga instead of maram, but you munasema it's their time. It's you who are allowing the government not to pay you. Nasema tunajua venye maneno ya gava inaendanga. What do you mean tunajua venye maneno ya gava inaendanga? Aje? Inaweza enda vizuri. What is that thing? Ati you are supplying to the government. Hey, gava nayo nakulipa. What do you mean gava nakulipa? It's your sister sitting in the procurement office. It's your mother, it's your uncle, it's your brother who's a policeman. It's your auntie monyako KRA. It's your daddy who's working at the central bank. It is you. You are your own worst enemies. You hate your own children, Africans. African people, you hate anything that looks like you. Anything that looks like you hate it. You hate your dark skin. So someone practiced something on you, a ritual and spell, and you believed it to the point now you hate yourself. So no change is coming. You can forget praying for 2,000 years. It's not going to happen. It has not happened for 2,000 years. For over 6,000 years, 2,000 years, or let's even call it 500 years. Religion has not helped you in 500 years. So, and if it's not working for them, if religion is not working for the people who gave you religion, what makes you think it's going to work for you? If they are closing the churches in the US, if Akina Joel Osteen and all these other people are still doing the same to them, what makes you think it's going to be different for you? If America owes people money, that's America. If they owe billions and trillions of dollars in debt, what makes you think your country will not owe anyone debt? So if your education is not changing, because now you keep changing to junior high and all this crap, you used to have CG Form 6, 844, 434, whatever you are having, what makes you think is good? So is the system the real problem? Or is we, the collective, the people, the problem? Because that is what you should be asking yourself. Because when you have an African president say that he's not going to explore oil after you spent billions of shillings exploring the Taro oil project in Turkana and everything, and you discovered oil in your country. Now you have a president saying that he's not going to sell the oil. He's not going to exploit the oil because exploiting the oil is going to impact your economy. Africans, how are you taken like fools by these white people? So now you discover oil, but you cannot sell the oil to become rich like their countries. So now you're going to go for a green world. So you are promised a few coins, again breadcrumbs. So Nambiliwati, we are going to give you 40 billions to spearhead the green economy, a grant. So you're taking the charge of leading a green country while you have oil, which is going to make those few billions look like coins. But because they know that you are dumb Africans, because you don't think for yourself, they think for you. And they know that you like licking the white man's ass. They know that you can't wait to be elected, to be jumping on a plane to go and shake hands with them because you have the mulatto syndrome. They know that if your leaders are given a few coins, they are ready to sell their people. So now you are ready, running with something you have no idea about, just because it's being sold to you, just because you are allowed to host a meeting. PR, jumekubalishwa kuhold a meeting about green economy. Sasa you feel, we are in charge. Oh, Kenya, oh my God, give us the billions. We are going to spearhead this. So what you are telling your people is that Africans will never benefit from their natural resources because it is going to pollute the world. Well, I say, let's exploit our fuel, get the money, then we can clean afterwards like they have been doing. Fuck the Greenpeace movement and all that green carbon tax emissions. Let us exploit our own fuel. Let us create our own roads. Let us become like Dubai with our own oil money without the West telling us about destroying our economy or destroying our environment. We'll take care of the environment. We have the most forest. We can plant the most trees. We can do the biggest cleanups with our own money. But no one is thinking like that. Again, Africans will never benefit from their resources. So the white people never took your resources from the word go. No, you are told that your resources cannot help you. So every time you discover resources, you cannot process them. You have to send them to them. Then they can process them and bring them back to you. You make coffee. You cannot process the coffee, majani chai, leaves. So you have to export as raw materials, then they can sell it at whatever price they want to sell it back to you. Let's go to cocoa. You cannot process your own cocoa. You cannot make your own chocolates in those countries, but you can export the cocoa and you cannot afford the chocolate. The poor people of Mount Kenya. So you are growing tea and coffee, but you don't even get to enjoy that tea. So nothing has changed from the days of colonization to date. You have tea and coffee. If that was a cash crop, all the houses in Mount Kenya would be off-grid. They would have their own solar. They would have their own electricity and piped water and everything. The last time I checked, I was in Chogoria. There was a water tanker in Chogoria. In Mount Kenya, hakuna maji. So if coffee is a cash crop, if tea is a cash crop, how comes your children are still in public schools? How comes you cannot afford to send your children to their best schools? Kama muna grow cash crop. You don't have a cash crop. You have a slave crop. You should be growing food. You are better off growing food, and the remaining food you can sell in your country or more export. But the moment your country, because of what you have been signing, what you call the trade and tariffs that your leaders sign, that cannot allow you to export, turns you into an importing country with people like the Krures, like Moses Kuria, in charge of those dockets. 20 years from now, you still be crying the same song. We are poor Africans. What happened to us Africans? Again, and I don't know whom you are waiting to come and turn these things around, because it is you they are affecting. Most of you can't even now drive to work. It's too expensive. But the markets outside, the prices of oil are coming down. Israel and Gaza wako hapa. They are just here. You can drive there. Iko hapa. It's just that they built the Suez Canal to divide Africa. Africa was one continent. So when they dug the Suez Canal, the intention was to divide the country. Wakakata hiyo Suez Canal, that is a street. Who said we needed a shortcut? Simeli zizunguke. But no one is thinking like that. And when they want to turn the trade around, all they did was ni kukwamisha meli hapo Evergreen. Wakakwamisha meli, ati wanatuma katapila. A joke. They send a caterpillar ikuje on land ground, ati isukume meli imekwama. Kitu ya tons and tons inatumiwa katapila. They mock you. And the whole of that plan was to change the world trade. The whole of that thing, wakabadilisha containers, the sizes of the containers, everything became expensive because everything is planned on a table. Global politics, geopolitics, everything is planned on a table. And you are not invited. So it's about time now. Because this is something that you're not going to learn in school or in your news or whatever. It's about time now that you stop giving these people energy. Remember, where attention goes, energy flows. So it's about time you stop giving these people attention. Switch off those TVs. Start your own communities now. Wacha hata kushinda kusema ati government ikuje tutengenezee barabara. Itaneni nyumba 10. Tokeni na majembe hapo nje. Jitengenezeni hiyo barabara yenyu hapo. Just get out and repair that road. Kaonjo ikuje ati unajua wewe unajua county, waambia mtu wa Kanjo wewe ithe wa Kamauwe we ithe wa Kamauwe ithe ukoro ithe itawo ithe wa Kamauwe na niwe wika njui tatigana ithe wa Kamauwe tigana ithe tafadhali we ni wotwikite thu itu we you are these people are becoming your own enemies. Your enemies are living amongst you. What you are calling these policy people, these policy papers. And these people are taking you for fools for too long. Ati mtu ati ni billionaire ameimport mafuta. Do you know mtu anaimport mafuta? Do you know what it means to have a ship with a cargo of billions? They travel in private jets. People who handle what you call hedge funds. They are called hedge funds. I've trained people in hedge funds. Okay? I've been flown as a personal trainer. Nimewekwa ndege nienda nikatrain mtu mahali. Amenilipia ndege hapa for 1 week of training. The amount of money they now that one is not even in oil. Yeye ana control what is called a hedge fund. For sasa wenye wana own hizo hedge funds. So mkibeba ufala hapa ati mtu anakuja ati akona meli ati mafuta. You can't even see them. Those people are faceless. You deal with what you call a legal team. Ukitaka kuongea nao, they send a legal team. Si mtu moja, a team. Na hiyo legal team itakuwa legal team of a few legal houses zenye mnatambua. Utakuta the Kilonzo advocate wako hapo. Utakuta huyo mnatambua sana. All those lawyers. They would have to create a team of lawyers to come and speak on behalf of the client. 17 billion. Sijui what billion of oil. Na mko hapa kwa TV ati mtu anasema analeta. So, anyway, that's not the point. So, what is the solution? Because we can keep talking about these things. Tunaweza shinda tukipiga kelele hapa every day and talking is not seeming to be doing anything. Though talking is God. In the beginning was the word. The first thing that God said was talk. So in the beginning, talking is God. So we are going to talk because talking is God. Now, on the ground, this is how you get out of an economic rut. Simply put. And we are even going to use their system. So we are going to use Google to resolve this problem once and for all. We're even going to use AI to show you how easy this is. My power is so let me change this. I'm running out of charge, so this is not going to work. So I don't know. Let's go raw. Let's do it raw. Raw is best. So let's shut off this. Let's shut off all this technology. You're not going to need all this technology. So give me a second. Give me a second. We change everything. Give me a second. We do this raw. Raw is good. Monday night raw. So let's connect the charger and then we can push this live for the next just 10 minutes or 20. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Si parire. Bera ciao, bera ciao, bera. And we are back. We said we are going to do it raw, so tumetoa hizo microphone. We don't even care about the sound. So we are back now. So, we said we are going to use AI, and we are going to use AI. What is the password now? Come on now. Yeah, we are going to use ChatGPT to give you a sustainable plan that you can use. Because remember what we said, we are going to use the AI. Now, I agree to the terms and conditions. Okay, let's go check your facts. we are asking AI, give me a 5-point pointer on how to turn my economy in most of you are not even middle class. So in an African setup, in a city, earning $3 a day, earning $3 a day, make it a 6 months plan. Consider agriculture, because that is what you have. Consider agriculture. That what else do you have in Kenya? You only have agriculture. You don't produce anything. So consider agriculture. Now, this is now ChatGPT giving you an idea. Oh my God. I saw your government is using the same ChatGPT or whatever to communicate to you. So AI is telling you that the first thing you need to do is crop diversification. Crop diversification. So it is saying identify high yield, locally suitable crops with a short growth cycle. Inakwambia identify high yield, something that is yielding very highly. Kitu kipana inatoa a lot. Okay? Within a very short growth cycle. Now you remember, shout out to Ambo, that when you go to your own land, you have alternatives. You have millet, akina mkombi, foxtail millet. You have akina wimbi. Izo mulisahau kupanda. Those things are short growth cycle, but they have high yields. Na gunia moja ya wimbi, my friend, gunia moja ya wimbi. Price, we can check here. Price of wimbi. And then inasema, allocate a portion of your land for cultivating these crops. Promoting diversify to mitigate risk and enhance market opportunities. So you are a country where all you talk about is maize. Your country has an appetite for maize. Your president talks about maize. Every time it rains, the first thing, it's always maize. Maize takes 6 months to grow. So you need to start changing your mindsets. Mahindi nakaanga miezi 6 before ime. And that is not even guaranteed depending with the rains. Depending with the soils. You have poisoned your soil. You have been sold all these roundups to poison your soil. You know that your soil is alive. Munasemanga tia mat ad maito gaya nini, but you are killing your soil. It makes no sense to put fertilizer in your farm, and the more fertilizers you put, the smaller the yields, because your fertilizers are destroying your soil. Those are chemicals designed to destroy your soil. And now, you have people in parliament and people in governments who are passing laws to make it illegal. Imagine manure yako, dhumu waku, your own manure utakuwa unaeka kwa shamba. We know that manure is used for the shamba. We know we talk of compost pit na vitu kama hizo. And you are passing laws whereby manure yako, ukilea ng'ombe, utakuwa unatoa manure yako inabebo na kanjo. Kwa sababu it is illegal kuweka kwa mchanga. You have passed laws that make it illegal to share seeds in your own country in Africa. Huwezi pea mtu mpembe, mbosho, ati utafungwa. You pass the laws. But ni akina nani wanapass the laws? People who look like you. Because it's not white people in parliament. But for you to get these grants, or for you to get these coins that you like calling loans, they come with terms and conditions. We are going to give you loans. However, when you give you a loan, you have to pass a law that makes it illegal to share seeds. And then we'll give you a loan. So, you do it. In 2023, Africans, unaenda kwa duka unanunua mahindi, mbegu ya mahindi, inauzwa 900 one packet ya 2 kilogram. But ukipanda shamba mzima, unatoa mahindi ndoo 3. So who is stupid now? Is it the people selling you the seed, ama wewe unapakiwa mbegu rangi unasema deda mbegu ya dawa ya nini wewe? Don't be stupid. Ushaienda msitu ukakuta ati msitu iko na miti najipandisha ati iko na dawa. Why are you being stupid? Ati you have people wanapima mchanga. Tunataka kulima, chukua mchanga upelekee lab ipimwe. Mungu there's something wrong with you black people. Something is very wrong with you. The most selling content right now is off-grid living. Ingia YouTube saizi, uone the people in the mountains, wenye wanaoshanga tu wako na bata, off-grid. That is what is selling. White people are quitting their jobs to go into farms and start off-grid living. And they are making millions from that content on TikTok na vitu kama hizo. Come to Africa. You are selling your land to the Chinese to buy apartments. There must be something wrong with you. Now, that was on crop diversification. So you're not doing, these are the conversations you should be having with the people on the ground. Saa zile munachagua, hata muwachaguangi, I don't even know I'm talking about them. But should be having people on the ground who are talking of crop diversification. Atupandi mahindi tena. Kwani tutioso wako hada beba sina ni nami edita tore hada mohe na moere because the market is there. Water management. The whole of today morning, mumeshinda internet. Munaangalia it's raining in Mombasa. At it is flooding in Mombasa. You are blaming it on El Nino. There's nothing like El Nino. The reason places are flooding is because of what you call runoff water. Every time you create a community, houses that have gutters, na muweke, kwa sababu you are dumb, munafikiria kuweka kabro ni development, unajenga kwako unaweka kabro, utaki kanyanga mchanga, aje unaweka kabro. So hiyo maji yote ikinyesha baadaye kuenda kwa ground, ikunywe na ground na miti, and then so that your wells can have water. Your boreholes are drying up because all the water is running off. Muliweka lami, mukaweka mitaro. So kukinyesha hiyo maji yote inaenda Mombasa. There's no water is even seeping to the ground to go into your boreholes. No one is digging dams. The reason you dig dams is not just to hold water, but also to take the water back to the ground. Ndio wale watu wako hapo downtown, ukichimba kisima maji unapata kwa sababu there's a big body of water close to you. Venye watu wanakanga kwa swamp they do. No one is checking that. No one wants to care about that. However, you may ignore the conversation, but wewe ndio unazaa. Wewe ndio unapanda kwa kitanda unazaa. Hao watoto wamejaa stage wakienda shule, wamejaza school bags because it's an achievement. Those are your children and that is your future. And those are the children you expect them to take care of you. Right now we cannot even take care of our parents. Right now my mama akinipigia simu, it is always about money. Akinipigia simu, hello? Goda, dini na besa mom. And I disconnect the phone. I don't have the money. I don't have the money to spare for you. And that is also coming for you. In a few years, you'll be looking at your children to help you. Because that's the African curse. That is the parental toll that you have to pay. And we are not changing anything. So your grandfather alikuwa anakuomba pesa. Anko yako anakuomba pesa. Saizi ukijaribu tu ingie ndege uende Ulaya. The whole family. They depend on you. Repatriation. Tupe. Tulikuchangia tupe. And that is not the issue. Unaweza wapea. Unawapea nini? Where there is inherited. What are you inheriting? Africa, ndio nauliza. Right now, the new scam in town, carbon. The Ongiek are being kicked from their homes. Muna celebrate. Ati mtu ameshikwa hapa ati ni bandit. Nani amekuambia ni bandit? Every time you fight for your freedom, you are labeled a bandit. Those people are being evicted from their lands because there are people who are coming with huge amounts of money to buy those lands so that they can grow trees. Wakuwe wanapewa pesa ya carbon dating. Nyi mnauza shamba, watu wanafanya watu wafukuzwe, wanaita bandits, wakuje wanunue thousands of acres, waanze kulipwa carbon. Do you have any of your leaders talking about carbons? No. But you can come up as a community. You buy 50,000 acres of land as a community, mushikane, mununue. You don't even have to buy it. You have to be clever. All you have to do is come together as a community and you declare, we as the Gikuyu community, we are declaring Mount Kenya, the whole of Mount Kenya. We don't care how many hectares of land. We are declaring Mount Kenya a natural heritage of the Gikuyu. Venye wa Masai walifanya Masai Mara. Wajua mfikiriangi, venye wa Masai Mara wanafanyanga Masai Mara. Every money that comes to Masai Mara, it goes to the community of them. Basabu walisema Masai Mara ni yao. Gikuyu mnafaa mshikana mseme Mount Kenya, the whole of that mountain is yours. So all the money that comes for carbon dating, yenye nalipwa juu hiyo msitu, every Gikuyu gets a piece of that money for schools. But no one is thinking outside the box. You have people buying lands, forests. The other day mulidanganywa kuna insecurity Nairobi. Ati watu wanadunga visu hapo. Mtu akakuja hapo akapewa the whole of Gulanu Kulalu. A whole area akapewa bure. Akalipa pesa kidogo. Privatization. But no one is talking about the real. So 20 years from now, Vision 2030, which was a project of 2013, so this is going to happen in 2031, so this is going to happen in 8 years from now. 8 years from now, it will be illegal to own land unless you are a corporation. Anything beyond 10 acres, wow, umechagua ndio watapass hizo laws, akina stupid Murkomen and the rest. Those people, because they have an appetite for money, they are going to pass these laws. So in a few years now, mutasema again, you have no land. The same story. We are children of Maumara. What do you call that stupid stone? Mau. We are children of the slaves. We are the children of Mau. So 10 years, mutaanza kuimba the same. We are children of Mount Kenya. When you wake up one day, na itakuwa kwa Kenya Gazette, Mount Kenya has been sold. Not in cash, but in carbon trading. Na vitu kama hizo. So, these places, mwenye mnaonanga akina Pokot, akina unasikia ati Turkana has the biggest water reserves in the world. Fresh water reserves in the world. But you're asking yourself, kama tuko na maji mingi hivyo, si huko ndio tungekuwa tunairrigate kama Israel. So right now they are going to be evicted kwa sababu kuna maji. And those lands will be bought. Thousands of acres. Hiyo maji itachimbwa. Watu wapande misitu. Watakuwa wanalipwa misitu. Unakaa chini unalipwa miti. Where do you get your billions? I have 10,000 acres of carbon. I get carbon emissions taxes paid to me for free. So these people, they keep updating. So watakuja kwa nchi yenu. Wachimbe dhahabu yenu, mafuta yenu, Nigeria. Nyi mkipata mafuta, mnaambiwa it is go green. It's not sustainable to go green. It's not sustainable. We are not even the most developed countries are not electric. They are still on diesel fumes. So someone is lying to you again because Africans, you don't think. And no, some answer to, oh, we are going green. Munaenda green wapi mukona nini nyinyi? Nyinyi hata barabara saizi haziendeki. Saizi ugawezi hata enda Mombasa. You don't even have a road to go to Mombasa. Saizi the cars going to Mombasa zimesimama. Ni helicopter tu ni kama movie. Ati horo, Mombasa road impassable. Bullshit! Mombasa road should be an 8-lane road from here to Kampala. 8 lane on one side, 8 lane on the other side. Mombasa road is the great transatlantic trade. Ask yourself, if the great transatlantic trade, since 18 whatever your history has not been updated, what makes you think it is going to be updated? Where you have countries that have roads that travel under the sea. Si barabara inapita kwa mchanga, under the sea. Tunnels. Go to Norway. Go to all these countries. Go to China. Roads that bridges over the sea. See over river, Tana River. Over the sea. Atuongei muto. Tunaongea kilometers and kilometers above the sea. You can't even build a single bridge. Munashindanga hapo umeshukamana kwa ferry. 50 years after independence. 50 years after independence, you cannot build a bridge. And the problem is that you don't have money. The problem is that your money is looted. Every day your money is looted. Every day munakopa pesa, muulizi pesa inaenda wapi. And I hate politics. I don't even talk about politics. But it's time to wake the people up. Stop paying these people attention. Wakiweka news, zima your news is not helping you. Mtu akikuja unajua nataka kumwambia tutaki tusaidie, we don't care. Wacha kutuambia venye utatufanyia. Sisi tunataka tuone, kama hatuoni usituambie. Don't tell us. Your children, the education, walikula pesa ya computers in 2023. In the age of AI and ChatGPT, your children cannot operate a laptop. These laptops are free. Lenovo's, HP, munaweza pewa computers for free. Free, because they have advanced. It is considered waste. Inaitangwa technology waste. That money ilikuliwa, mukanyamaza, mukasema maisha normal. You went back to a normal life. Nothing happened. That regime came, ate your children's money, ikaisha. Now you have a stupid education system. They are stupid because they don't work. That is why they keep getting updated, because they are supposed to produce workers, not thinkers. African education in Africa is designed to produce voters and hecklers and workers, not thinkers, not people who can think. That is why your leaders, when you alienda university hapa, ya kina Babu Owino, public universities, they cannot think, because the education system they went to is not for thinking, it's for following orders. So if you went to university to join politics, there was no need. Kwa sababu hapo kwa politics, uko na watu walinunua certificate zao, hawakuenda shule, wengine hata walifanya campaign na baiskeli. So your education is nothing. The only education that can be produced in a country to help you ni group of schools which you cannot afford. Na mtoto akienda group of school, anakochiwa, anaenda to work for those countries. And that is the reality. Okay? And tutashinda tukiongea, but unless we start changing these things with wewe sasa, wewe kwanza uanze kuacha kuzaa kwanza wewe. Hata sijui unazaa nini. Hii si dunia ya kuzaa. This is not about to give birth. Unless unazaa mtoto waandikwe, akuwe slave. Kama unazaa mtoto ende Saudi Arabia akaandikwa kazi ya mkono, endelea kuzaa. Because that is what your president is telling you. I just came from Saudi Arabia where we are going to export labor. Unajisikiza venye unaongea wewe as a president. So we are here to produce workers. You see, that is the point. Your president is telling you, wewe maliza shule, uende ukafanya kazi ya mkono. Your president is telling you, you are workers. Your system is producing workers, laborers, hecklers, and voters. That is what your president is telling you. Your president is telling you, and they are sending you to the Arabs. But we don't have Arabs investments here. The Arabs are investing in their countries. They are producing the ley lines. Imagine you go to the desert as a tourist. Miaka yake yote hujaingia ndege, hata hujaienda Baringo na basi. But your greatest achievement, influence ya social media, ni kuingia hapo uende Dubai kwa mchanga. Na sikwambii usitravel, but that is your achievement kwa desert. Umeenda kuona mchanga. Uko na Charbi Desert Kenya. Kama ujui, you have Charbi Desert in Kenya. In fact, our influencers, akina Pluto, mnafanya kazi mingi sana na tumbili. Mkutanganya watu na passport ati umeingia ndege mmeenda Dubai. Go to Charbi Desert, iko hapa Kenya. Enda mshoot content huko. No one will believe you. Hire those 4x4 cars. Get online. Print a UAE number plate. Iweke hapo for cloud. For content. End up at Charbi Desert. You don't have to travel all the way. For what? To be treated like shit by those people. Okay? So now, the only way that you can shift the tables is for yourself as an individual. Wewe mwenyewe. And it starts by questioning things in your mind. Sazi unaona news, unaona mtu ameambiwa ati ameimport meli, sijui pesa inatoshana aje. Ask yourself, if this is a multi-billionaire bringing oil into the country, anaweza pata masaa ya kuja kuongea na press. Anaweza pata masaa. Kama the few millionaires we know Kenya, hauwezi waona wakiongea na press. Who is this talking of billions of oil? Anakuja kwa TV. Then realize that the world is a stage. And when you start waking up to the reality on the ground and that the world is a stage, usiendelee kuchezwa tena. Change the narrative. Change the narrative and start working on self now. Okay. KP, I'm going to accept your, okay, let me accept your request, but mute your mic. So the only way you, for example, tumeongea maneno ya water management. KP, you can mute your mic kidogo and then I'm going to give you a chance to talk. When it comes to water management as a community, now I don't want us to talk about as a country now. Let's talk about as a community first. In your own location, wherever munaishi kijiji yenyu, wenye mulitoka Gishagi mukakuja Nairobi. Implement efficient water conservations. And always look at your neighbors, what they are doing. And look at the people you are put in office. And na zile vitu wanaanza kuongea. In some of these developed countries, you cannot harvest water. Nyumba unajenga na ukiweka gata unashikwa unapelekwa kotini. And it's about time mwanze kuangalia hizi rules zinapitishwa mkicheka hapa mkiona kama ni mchezo. Inaanzanga hivyo, dystopian rules start like that. Mnacheka ati wamesema polisi mtakuwa mlipa 30k soja, unasema hiyo ni soja. Alafu wanapitisha sheria kama uandiki soja amepitia hapo unalipa 1 million fine. Nani ameumia tena? Si ni wewe. Sasa soja atakosa kazi kwa sababu afadhali kuweka umbwa kuliko ulipe mtu 30,000, afadhali uweke umbwa. Kwa sababu unataka askari wawili wa mchana na usiku. Na serikali ja kutengenezea hiyo 60,000 ama 30, I would gladly pay a soldier pale 30k every day akaange kwa gate. Hata wawili wanabadilishana usiku na mchana. I would pay for that comfortably if I have the means to get that money. If I don't have that means, if what is happening is continuous perforation ama mfuko wangu inaendelea kutoboka, then wacha niweke umbwa na niweke mishale na nilalange nje then, because it's not making sense. Back to the topic. So water management, very soon these stupid leaders mwenye munaona watapitisha sheria itakuwa illegal kuchimba kisima. Mukicheka tu itakuwa illegal kuharvest water. Mukicheka tu kwa sababu the loans that they are getting are coming with terms and conditions. Will give you a loan. Because we ujuangi, when your president gets on a plane, you are not represented. You don't know when you're ambiango your loan. We unafurahi tu. There's nothing for free. So those are the laws that are coming. You cannot share seed. That came with a loan obligation kama mjui. Unanunua mahindi hapa 900 packet. Mahindi inatoa kitu inatoshana hii simu. Ukivuna mahindi inatoshana na hii simu na ulinunua mbegu. Zile mbegu mlikuwa mnachagua mbegu kubwa kubwa mnaweka kando mnarudisha kwa shamba. It is now illegal to borrow seed. Mnacheka tu. Everything is funny to you because of the news. Mnacheka tu. Water management is the next thing. They are coming after your water next. Walianza na borehole, wakaongeza fees za borehole. Now they are coming for your real water now. Wacha niwaambianga vitu mnacheka. You need what is called community collaborations in your places. Hizi nyumba 10 mnaambiangwa, mnafaa kuform partnership. Partnership with neighboring farmers. CASK, see the government. The government is you. You guys, you are forgetting you are the government. Nilikuambia vizuri sana, mnasemanga serikali. Serikali ni nani? Mamako ndiye ameandikwa KRA, babako ndiye polisi, sisterko ndiye national. The government is you. Someone lied to you. There's something called a government. It's like an egregor, something created and you give it power over you, forgetting that you created a government. The government is you and me. So we can come up and say, my charge is almost zero. I don't know kama hii nini itaendelea tena. Let me see if it's going to continue. This live was interesting, but now it looks like it's going to die. Where is my charger now? When you have an interesting topic, ndio kila kitu ina misbehave. Now this is misbehaving. My charger is misbehaving. I don't know if it's going to charge. Let's hope it's going to charge. Now, that is someone who's coming to see me. So this is how you do it before my charger dies. So to create, and then KP aongea kidogo. So to create a community, remember, communities ni papers, what you call cooperation. Hakunanga kitu kama cooperation. A cooperation ni nyinyi mnashikana kama sako, mnatengeneza makaratasi. Now hii makaratasi, based on your financial might, ile pesa kila mtu ako nayo shilingi 10, when the bigger the number of people in that partnership, the more muscles you have to go and implement these changes, kwa sababu ukiwa peke yako utasikizwa. Now, the world takeover that is happening is what you can call a corporate takeover. Everything that is being taken. Imagine mtu mmoja anakuja kwa country yenyu anajiita Gates as an individual. See, president, he's just a businessman who dropped out of school. But kwa nini ako na nguvu hivyo? Ako na nguvu juu anakuja kama a corporation. But kwa sababu hamuna example, most of your circles are run by thugs. Akina Metropolitan. How can you have a circle lose billions? Kwani hakukuwa mtu alikuwa anafanya auditing? Akina Gakuyu ati all of a sudden mnaamka hamuna pesa. Pesa imeenda wapi? It's you take action and you make those people accountable. Polisi anakuja na mwambia wewe boss, wewe umewekewa pesa na watu hapana. Wewe ni shareholder hapana. Hebu songa kaa pale, tukikuhitaji tutakuita. Get out of that gate. As a corporation, you have enough money to hire your own private security team. Hata si ya Kenya, munaenda Rwanda muna hire your own private security team through the legal means the government. Munakuja munaweka hapa. Polisi akikuja anaambiwa this is under private security system. Just like the mercenaries. That is how you grow. And you make these people fear you. These people, they don't fear you. That is why they are playing or they are gambling with your children and your future. KP, you can unmute your mic and add something. Hiyo jogoo ni kubwa sana. I like it. KP, the mic is yours. Go ahead.
Yes, I have been enjoying the way you present, and I follow you very closely in this articulation. Sometimes you are very, very educative, very enlightening. Thank you.
Shout out to KP. The thing that we are lacking on the ground is what you can say. The people on the ground need what you call civic education on their role when it comes to governance, because the people have given all their rights to an imaginary entity called the government to take care of them, forgetting that the people are the government. The people is the community. And the moment people start laying back or going what you can call hands-free on things, expecting something to come in on their behalf and help them, hapo ndio shida inakuanga. So we should be having these conversations, but the main point should not be having the conversation. The main point should be sensitizing the people to understand the power that they have as a collective or as a community and how much they can change things. Back in the days, not even so long ago, we even have people today who work as a community. Unaenda kwa shamba, unasikia leo wameamuka, 50 people wanaingia kwa shamba ya mtu, wanaipiga collectively, wanamaliza. Ndio unasemanga umoja ni nguvu. Now, there's a huge plan to separate the people. You think you are together because you are in your location and everything, but you are very separated. And once you are separated, you cannot come together to build something. And it's about time also that we need to start, or what you can call, have new chief of leaders who do not look like what you call leaders. So we need to have people on the ground who are leading on the ground without those flags on their cars, without the salaries from the government, because the people you have in charge are clueless. They are totally clueless from the head to the tail. As we are speaking now, we are in very new times. Everything that you see in the world happening today is an experiment. No one knows what is working. All the way to 2 years ago, when people were locked up in the house, when they came up with that imaginary thing floating in the air. So the reason was because they were trying something new, and it backfired really badly on them. So we're in a time of experiments, experimenting things that are new, experimenting new ways of getting your safety, stability, safety, and security. But the thing is that our people have not been raised to think for themselves or to come up with new things. Because it was even very embarrassing to have 32 or whatever 52 nations you have in Africa and you couldn't even come up with your own vaccine. That should have been a red flag, very red flag. Because mungejiuliza, if Africa is as big as they say, 52 nations, and we claim that we were powerful, we used to be kings, we had pyramids and everything. But tumekosa dawa ya homa. Homa, si cancer, not heart disease, homa. Na si ati tumekosa dawa, tumeambiwa dawa yetu haiwezi fanya kazi. Kuna wale wanasema on do they own the J&J, Johnson and Johnson baby powder. Watu wanatengeneza baby powder ya matako ya watoto as a company, ndio wanatupea dawa ya homa na tukakubali as Africans. That shows you there's a huge gap in how Africans think. Because we are so bent on expecting handouts from these nations to the point we don't believe in our medication hata moja. Hatuna dawa ya Mwafrika hata moja tunaweza tumia moja. 52 nations in Africa, hakuna dawa yenyu. Everything has to come from their Smithline, Beach Clams, Johnson and Johnson. So that tells you kuna shida kubwa sana. You may think you have independence, that you are free, but you are not. If you don't have a copy of independence, mlisema mlipewa independence na mkaonyesha certificate Uhuru Gardens. Kama una hiyo picha venye uko na picha ya Ruto kwa ofisi yako, ama the way same you have a birth certificate kwa nyumba yako, then you don't have independence. It should be mandatory that every Kenyan should own a piece of independence from the white people. Kitu umesoma the terms and condition. Ujuange yenyewe tuko na freedom kwa sababu this happened and it is possible. Kama mulipewa constitution, each and every person was given a copy of the constitution dunia mzima. Zingine tulifunga nazo nyama. But that should be the policy. You should start asking questions. Are we really independent? Yeah. Then the government should print a booklet on the terms and conditions of this independence that we have for all African nations. Don't come talking to me ukiniambiwa ni Pan-African, I'm going to spit in your face. Kwa sababu hakuna kitu umechange. Don't come telling me ati unajua mimi ni Professor Rumumba, take your professor. I don't care. Your professor is for them. That term, that doctorate, whatever you graduated from, was from their school. So you are limited to their ways of thinking. You are not a professor in my face. You are a professor of their education. Because the last time I checked, we have no African education. Usiniambie African Nazarene University yetu inafunza bado maneno yao. We don't have anything African. We don't have an African education system. We don't have. So kushinda ukiniambia, we used to teach them in Egypt. Hiyo ni history unaniambia. The Greeks, they came to learn in Egypt. Hiyo ni history. I want to see an African university teaching African ways of agriculture, African technology na vitu kama hiyo. Kuna kutengeneza mabati hapa gari mnaita Kirinyaga hapa mnatuambia umetengeneza ati county imetengeneza gari ya mabati ya solar. You have never invented something solar. Kwa hivyo hata kama ni ya solar ni their solar system. It is their panels. Ni muchome mawe yenyu. And I'm not saying you go back to the drawing board. Mwanze kuchoma chuma. Someone has already done that for you. Don't go back to that old thinking ati mnasikia mtu akisema ati unataka culture si urudi kuvaa skin. No. Mtu asha kutengenezea nguo unavaa skin kwa nini? Someone has already made a gun. Why should I go and smelt iron ore to create a gun? I just go and buy the gun and life moves on. So education in Africa, you don't have your own education. So usikuje kuturingia tunatupea policies za education umepewa na mzungu. It is not going to work because we know the agenda. And it is not the agenda of the mzungu. The mzungu is also under oppression. There are some people who are bent on maintaining this system. And unless people wake up to realizing that kila kitu ni kuupdateiwa tu inaupdateiwa. The first colonization was the land. Now we have a new one, the carbon thing, that carbon dating thing, that carbon emissions scam. That is the new one of grabbing lands. Mutakuanga mko na misitu na mukuli na mwezi kata hiyo msitu. Unasikia someone owns that forest, uwezi ingia msitu. Inaunua na mzungu na analipo hiyo msitu for something called carbon trade, whatever bullshit. Just because your president alikuwa the other day anapeana hapa akifikiria ni kitu mzuri sana UN. We are spearheading. Kwanza naulizwa maswali. I am not looking at exploiting avenues of oil. How dumb can you be? Well, the whole world has developed out of oil. Africans, again, you are duped. So now your oil cannot help you. Now your diamonds cannot help you. Now your gold cannot help you. So now none of African resources will ever help Africans. And you are laughing like it's something normal. What these people, what they do is just sit back and think, what can we do? Let's come up with something new. How do we do this? Let's create a narrative. Let's look for their youth. Have them post with pictures saying climate is destroyed. You don't have money. Africans, you don't have money. You don't have your own bank. You are ruled by the World Bank, IMF. 52 nations, you cannot have your own bank. Na usiniambie African bank ni bank kwa sababu is still working under their rules. You have nothing to negotiate with. Right now you are expecting the oil to come down. Oil cannot come down because it's based on the dollar. Your president alienda kununua mafuta na shilingi instead of the dollar. So mna expect aje mafuta ianguke? Who was advising him? Wewe ulisikia wapi unanunua mafuta na shilingi? So now your dollar imeenda 160. How can oil come? How can the prices come down? How can you expect the prices to stabilize in any way, shape, or form? While you are an importing country, you have nothing to negotiate. Hakuna kitu mnaweza ongeza bei nyinyi. Juu mungeongeza bei, mungesema tunauzanga hii, tumeongeza bei, wewe ni kubaya sana huko nje, but you have nothing to sell. You don't sell anything. You killed Pyrethrum. Sasa naona mmeuza zile vitu mlikuwa mmebaki. I don't even want to mention them. Right now you have stored all your markets, your avocados, everything has stalled again. So again, what will you negotiate with Africans? In a few years, another story, another history. You don't have money. Tumetoka kwa money. You don't even have an religion. It's unfortunate. Munashangilia ati sitam collect 2 billion shillings. It's a church. You only go there on Sunday for a few hours. 2 billion shillings. Hiyo pesa mmekuwa mkipeana kanisa. It's a whole industry. Ingekuwa imeemploy watu wote. I saw another big Catholic church hapo karibu na Donholm. A few billion shillings also. Hiyo inafaa kuwa ni an industry. Like the Chinese. Imeemploy watu. The other day I was having a conversation with a business lady. Akaniambia there's a policy for China where waliambiwa make sure kila mtu dunia mzima akona kitu imetoka China, hata kama ni kiatu bora imetoka China. That should be the same policy. Kenya, you have quality products. You saw the other day hapa Doha, when it goes to expo, akunanga watu waku, there's nothing to sell in Kenya. It's an empty shell. Welcome to Kenya. Hakuna kitu, hakuna hata majani chai, hakuna hata kiondo, hakuna kiondo yanyu hata ilichukuliwa na Mchina. But you're going to bed comfortably thinking things are not going to change. Religion is not going to help you. You've been praying for 400 years. Haikusaidii. And we need religion. We need the church. And for the church, you have people who are mentally weak who need the church. But it's not going to help us. Education is not for us. Hiyo 844 haikufanya. Form 6 haikufanya. Hii ya junior high haikufanya. It's not for us. So we need to come up with our own education system. Politics is not for us. We still have their judicial systems. When you are passing laws, wanavanga mawig. What is those things they wear on their faces? That's crap. So we never got independence. They just replaced the leadership with our own people. Since they look like us, they are black like us. You know, hey, our president. He is not your president. He is not serving your interests. Anasimama mbele ya watu. Anasema, I am not here to please you. Hii kitu itaenda bunge na itapitishwa. Na anatishia MP. Nione mtu ameikata. Is that your president? He's not serving your interests. But he looks like you. He's black. These people look like you. Your skin color. They speak your language. But they are not representing you. Because those governments are not for you. You have never formed a government. Multi-party siyo yenyu. Democracy si yenyu. One-party system si yenyu. You had your own systems. You took the judiciary, mukaendeleza. You took the things they left behind, you continued them. And you cannot change them because you are still under the British people. 20 for sport. You do not have sport. because it is their football, it is their basketballs. You remember the scams a few years ago, watu walikuwa na golf sticks na hockey sticks. Tuko nanunua hockey stick ya nini kuenda high school? It was mandatory because someone was on that tender, those Indian people. Uko nanunua hockey stick, hatuna hata uwanja ya hockey. Unaenda high school na huku Kamogoga boys, unakuta hata shule hata ina uwanja ya hockey. Hockey field iko hapa tu Parklands peke yake. But we used to buy hockey sticks. So those things have not changed. Nothing is changing. Your education is not yours. Your sports is not yours. Because Africans have their own games. Kulikuwa na kati, blada. Those are games. So what happened to African games? Masai wanarukanga straight ahead. Hawana long jump. But huo unatambua mzungu ya long jump. Anaruka na mgongo. Because it was promoted. Those are their sports. Again, you don't have sports. Your sport is poverty. Why does Kipchoge Keino has to run mpaka ana bleed miguu for $50 million? $50 million is the price of one Bugatti, a car. So mnadanganywa wako juu, oh, Kipchoge Keino, the greatest man who ever lived, and he's worth a car. Kipchoge Keino should have quit. Kipchoge Keino is the Olympics. Kipchoge Keino is the marathon. Yeye ndiye marathon. All he had to do, lakini ana akili ya kubuild. Angetoka, aende Eldoret, aingie kwa simu, atuambie, I am going to build a stadium here for a marathon. I'm going to call it Kipchoge Keino. And today I'm laying the first brick. Tuone akiweka brick ya kwanza. Tumchangie. Atengeneze kiatu inaitwa Kipchoge Keino auze 2,000. See how many white people are going to buy that shoes around the world. So he would be worth billions of shillings. Si kwenda kushinda akikimbia kwa Nike, ati anapewa sculpture, juu tunamwona kwa TV tunamtambua. Again, nothing. So African shida yetu, we don't know how to build. So Nike, they don't run. It's a company. But they are making all the money, all the millions, because they know how to build a product out of a brand. Shida yetu ni hatujui kujenga Africans. So even sports is not ours. We give them millions of shillings watching their games. Na wanatumok. Wanatuadvertisia Guinness. Shine brightest. Na ni ya black. So jumeona Guinness ina shine brightest na ni black. You don't get the subliminal. You are being mocked. You are being told that you can shine even if you are black. But because game wamenunua wachezaji wa Afrika wanapewa a few shillings, a few breadcrumbs, now you're in the game. Oh my God. Oh yeah, tuliuza mchezaji. Mliuza mchezaji na wewe. Alafu unasikia your football team is owned by one person. It's a business. For someone, ni kama duka. When unaraningi duka yako pale kiosk, ndio mtu anarun a whole football team. So what is the problem with Africans? If you have no religion, no politics, no government, no entertainment, your entertainment is not yours. Ingia hapa saizi uandike Google. Top 10 music in the world. Hakuna music ya Mwafrika? No. You have no African music. Hata kama atakuwa rapa, haitakuwa African music. What happened to your Femi Kuti? What happened to your Fatumata Diawara? What happened to all the beautiful musicians that you have? Everyone now has a craze. Na negu amodhi atuekete mwaki. No, dadime. Ting, 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 ting. That's not African music. Those are electric beats. And again, it took someone white to produce that music for you to recognize it. And again, recognize it on their TikToks. We don't have applications for Africa. Twitter, sio yenyu. Facebook, sio yenyu. YouTube, sio yenyu. So they can censor. It's unfortunate that for me to get anything educative, I have to import a SIM card from outside the country. Ndio niweke kwa simu yangu, nione algorithm, nione kitu inaweza nisaidia. Kwa sababu the algorithm has been shaped in a way it is not going to help the African people. The things you see on TikTok is not what other people see on TikTok around the world. You'll be shocked when you travel. Unaona TikTok ya mtu unashindwa, let me see. Wait, is this the same TikTok? Yes. But there's TikTok for Africa. There's TikTok for China. There's TikTok for the US market. So everything out there is a lie. Until you wake up and start realizing this is a farce, this is a fallacy, and start coming up as a community and creating your own things, we'll be here again 40 years, claiming we are children of the Mau Mau. We used to be slaves. And these things are not ending unless you change your mind. Shout out
Jega,
to Dr. Ongea.
Jega, does it mean everything is lost?
No,
I
everything is not
wish,
lost.
I wish,
Everything is not
I wish,
lost.
Yeah, I wish we could look at it that at least we could allow people, or no, not allow, because nobody should allow anybody. People allow themselves, you know. Like,
Yeah.
and I like your viewpoint, because you're telling people, hey, wake up, wake up, and do something. And we are not telling people to take machetes or mallets or anything. No, we are telling people, hey, reason like real people. You know, tell us what means something. You know, and one of the things I tell people is, so the freedom, you must claim your freedom. You don't have to be to wait until your freedom is given to you. Nobody will give you your freedom. You claim it. You claim it. And I would like you to at least push that a little bit for me.
Yeah. And so claiming your freedom is starting with something.
Yeah.
And that starting with something is the only way. This is the only way that you are going to do this,
Mm.
by creating communities.
Yes.
We are so divided. There's a huge push from these people to
Mm.
totally separate you to the point you don't know that if you do not create communities, for example, when you realize that hapa barabara ipitiki, every time we
Yeah.
have an issue with this road, na tukipewa wakati wako wafanyi, it's about time now. The way Moi used to do, I'm not saying Moi was the best, but Moi would go on the ground, munajenga gabion. Most of your
Yeah.
roads are still holding on today because Moi aliweka gabion.
Mm-hmm.
So hii maneno ya kusema ati serikali itatufanyia, serikali haitufanyi, it's not doing anything. Hakuna government inatengenezanga the work of the government is to spend money. All governments around the world, their work is to spend money, not make money. So when you start
Yeah.
looking at the government, expecting the government to teach you how to make money, it's not.
It's
The
not.
government will
Yeah. Yeah. I
come
agree.
to you
I
to
agree.
get money. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of, because we have people on the ground who have ideas. We have seen it. Tunaonanga mtu ameanza kitu na inashika, tunasema ala, huyu jamaa ako na idea. But we are not listening to these people. And one of the main reason, and we have to admit it, is that the media is one of our biggest enemy.
Enemy.
Right now, the only notification una receiving kwa media yako ni bad news. 7 people die, a crash. A girl kills herself during exams. So what is this media that we are, because hakuna time nishaiona media imeniambia ati residents happy after 10 people have decided to repair a bridge na kitu kama hizo. So once we start realizing, oh, there's a plan. Yes, there's a plan. So how are we run? So corporations run the world because it is the corporation that pay the biggest taxes to the government to use, akina Safaricom, KPLC.
Mm.
So without Safaricom, there's no country. Saizi tukiamuka Safaricom iseme hawezi lipwa kitu na M-Pesa, tumeisha. Saizi Kenya Power
Tumeweza
ikiamua
actually.
ikiamuka wazime stima, tumeisha. So kama corporations are running the world, who are corporations? Communities, people who came together and invested, a few people who own these shares, akina Dini Nyoro. So ni wapi hapa tunapotezwa, because every corporation or every community that thrives ni lazima muingiliwe katikati. Hata ukienda kuangalia maneno kama akina Mboi Committee, every time ukishikana ni lazima muharibu, musishikane, kwa sababu umoja ni nguvu. So if there's power in economics, how can we then become together as communities, each one teach one, ile kidogo tuko nayo, but sasa tuko na ile knowledge like we have to thrive. We have to put our differences beside. We have to build our own school. We start building our own schools, private schools. Private school, mnashikana mnasema tumejenga shule, tumeleta walimu kutoka place fulani. This is the education policy we want. It's a private school. Mtu anakuja kusema tunasema hapana. Tumeagree to the terms and conditions of a private school. Tumelipa kila kitu ya gavana hiyo. This is a private school. And the first people who've been this private school is our students. Tunaweka watoto wetu huko. Then that is how we are going to change these policies and these B2. But hii public school haitatusaidia. We are raising hecklers and voters and workers. Ndio maana president anatutukana akituambia tutaingia kwa ndege tuende tukafagia streets. In the age of AI, where we have the streets being swept by machines. Right now I can import a machine, itakuwa inanipanguzia hii nyumba yangu. Inajiactivate, vacuum cleaner, ikienda kigonga kiti, automatic ikimaliza inajizima. Ina sense dust.
Inaitwa bomba.
Yes. In my own house, I can import that thing on Amazon. So kuniambia ati, I have talked to a government where we are going to send 5,000 people to go and work there. That's a joke.
It's
That's
a joke.
But
I don't agree with him either.
Yeah, it's a joke, but I do get the joke is on me, kwa sababu yeye anafanya venye anaambiwa akiingia ndege akienda akisave, alafu anaambiwa look at your people. Hawajui kenye kinaendelea. They don't know what is happening. Just go and tell them anything. Here, take this money, go. Na mnasema ati president wetu ana travel zuri sana anatuletea. What has changed for you? I don't care about the country. What has changed for me? What has changed for me is that now I have reduced my travel by 50% because of the fuel. I have reduced my research 50% because I can no longer now toka hapa niende venye nilikuwa naenda Nakuru nakaa 1 week nikiresearch kitu. The fuel, everything is becoming expensive. So again, they are doing the same thing from the comfort of their home through the people we think are representing us. That's the problem.
And there's something I would like to throw to the audience, whoever is listening to us. What I don't know whether to call him Uncle Ruto or whoever. Ruto made a mistake and he borrowed Uncle D to advise him.
Yeah.
And D is like he's afraid of him, because what happened was he's supposed to tell him, hey, tumekuta hakuna pesa. What is happening to Kenyan money? And this is a reality. I'm an economist. Yeah. And what is happening to Kenya is we are importing too much relative to what we are exporting. And the impact of that is that we are running out of cash. And the fact that we are running out of cash, what happens and what the government is supposed to do, the government is supposed to push the money that is held in central bank right back into the economy, because what we are being brought into our economy is not necessarily the value that the people who are bringing it, like for example, I'll give you a very specific example. Kenya imports, like 2021, 2022, we imported 3.2 trillion Kenya shillings.
Shit. That's a lot of...
But we exported 900 billion. So the shortfall was 2.4 trillion. So, mi naambianga watu, hiyo pesa hakuna mahali imeenda.
Yeah.
Ilienda ikakoma pale Central Bank, ikabadilishwa, ikakuwa dola, ikakuwa yenyong, ikakuwa dola, ikakuwa whatever it became to bring whatever he brought. So what the solution to that, unachukua hiyo 2.4 trillion unakata na nusu. Serikali inarudisha, lakini hairudishi kupatia watu waeke kwa mfuko, inawarudishia in form of tujenge barabara ya kwenda Githunguri, ya kwenda Narok, ya kwenda Isiolo, hivyo. Pesa itarudi kwa mifuko ya watu. Lakini Day alikataa kuambia mkubwa wetu.
That's the issue. And
ni kama anamuogopa.
He because I
Yes.
mean, we have, when it comes to business, education, entertainment, sports, and politics, we are very knowledgeable on that because we are the people on the
Oh
ground and
yeah.
we are.
Yeah, we are.
And one of the things that we also need to do is that to understand venye guys wanasemanga all these baby boomers must go. Hawa watu wote tumepea in
They
charge.
have to go. They have to go. I agree with you, Baba.
They are trying to maintain things that zimepitwa na wakati. All those policies cannot work in a new world.
No,
New
they're trying
world.
to deploy. In fact, what nikukata tu kidogo. They are deploying 1920s policies in the 21st century.
Exactly. So all these people that I saw, I don't watch the news. I think the last time I watched news was like 8 years ago on TV. But me, I get my news like maybe I'll be passing mali niona kwa Twitter. Nimeona TikTok, they were vetting this guy for Central Bank. Akisema he's worth 1.1 billion or something to that tune. And watu kwa comment naona wakisema ati mimi nikiwa na 1.1 in assets siwezi vie for that seat na vitu kama hizo. So the people who are being vetted for that job, people should actually know right now mwenye hiyo kazi ni yake ashapewa kazi. Hii yote ni drama hii. They already know
The drama.
hiyo ni drama. They already know the right hands. He has shaken hands with the right people. The right terms and conditions. So everyone is selected. It has got nothing to do. Even the senators questioning them wanafikiria wanafanya kazi. They don't know. Juu senator yeye anaangalia per DM. Today tuna question huyu, ni interview. The one who's questioning you ajaingia hata class. Ajui hata mnaongelea nini.
Yeah, and I
Amenunua
agree.
certificate
Amenunuliwa.
yake amenunua Uganda. Alafu wanakuja kuvet someone in economics. This is we are clowns. We are clowns. This is total clown.
And the thing is, unajua, the other day I listened to the central bank governor. Ati anasema ati the reason why our Kenya shilling is falling is kwa sababu it has been overvalued. Nikaangalia nikasema oi mwadhani, oh no, agero gototeithia. Is he
Imagine.
supposed to say something like that really? He's the one who is supposed to help us develop policies to change, to strengthen our sales shilling. Anasema ati msijali ni tulikuwa tumewekwa huko juu tu.
Na nani?
Tunarudishwa mahali tunafaa.
That's the problem we have now. These people they come and they shit on you kwa sababu hiyo ni kututapikia kwa sababu
Hiyo ni
ndio
yeah, exactly. Hiyo ni kututapikia, yes.
Ndio ako na hiyo mandate unafaa kusema our shit is overvalued. So how do we bring it back to normal? And then we let the people know baadaye utuambie, you know, I did this and this and this to stabilize this shilling. No zikuja kutuambia ati hata inafaa kuwa 300. What is wrong with you wewe? Na sasa unaongelea nani?
You had that. Unaweza ati mtu anatuambia ati mafuta inafaa kuwa 300. Kuna mwingine alikuwa anasema hata umekosea, tuambie 500. Kwa mwingine alimwambia tuambie 500. Kwani 300 ni kitu gani?
So yeah, so
I think we are having people who are in leadership but they are jokers.
To be really honest, we don't even need leadership in this country. We need to lead ourselves now. We need to watu wakae chini wajue sasa tuko na shinda ya mbegu.
Ya mbegu,
Kenya seeds cannot be trusted in giving us seeds anymore. They have been compromised.
Yeah.
Now, I'm talking from experience. Mimi ulima. So nikipanda mbegu ya Kenya seed inazaa kamoja kanatokana na mkono yangu najiquestion najiuliza ai na kwani kama ni rangi nimepakia mbegu gani? With the next time I go to a neighbor, my grandmother akinipea mahindi nikipanda inazaa 3 natoa. So Kenya seed compromised. All these bodies have been compromised. So we need to start thinking Okay.
Yeah, and I think we have an opportunity.
Yeah.
One of the things I like about Kenya is we have an opportunity to change our situation. But the thing is, it doesn't seem like we are taking the opportunity because some people have continued to trust our predecessors wale wamekuwa wametuambia ati kesho mutakuwa inaitwa nini, tulikuwa tunaambiwa ati mutakuwa future leaders. No, 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 that is a fallacy. Yeah? Yeah? Me, I am, for example, for myself, I am 44 years. Mimi nilikuwa nasikia ati someni vijana mutie pia bidii. Soma mutaka
Kazi nzuri
mutapata
sana.
kazi.
Nzuri sana.
No, 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 no. Time has come for us at least to start changing the narrative. We need to change the narrative. And the thing is, one of the things I like about Kenya is we are not necessarily violent. We don't have to be violent, but we can change the narrative to where we can tell people, hey, can you stop telling us lies? Can you get out? If you don't have the truth, get out of our
Yeah.
platforms.
Oh, you see, power has never been given anyone, or power is not
Yeah,
granted.
yeah,
Power
yeah.
is taken.
It's never given by anyone to anyone by anyone.
So even when it comes to economic power, we have to
Mm-hmm.
start getting angry. Unaona, during the Bush administration, there was a journalist who took off his shoes and threw it
Mm,
at George Bush to express his anger.
mm,
So guide me to get to a position whereby watu mnaona hapa wanakuja because that is mockery na kuongelesha venye wanataka, we start holding them accountable. And you
mm,
see there's a ticking time bomb that people are not very aware of.
mm,
The youth, because I coach the youth. Sometimes I just go to the youth and I also talk to just random people. Naweza enda mahali kuna watu wa boda boda and we start having a conversation as men on the ground because I want to know how the men are
on the
faring on
ground.
the ground.
Mashinani.
So naulizanga naambia wanaume, sikizeni, mi naitwa hivi na hivi, nataka tuongea kama wanaume, si maneno ya biashara ama politics.
Mm, mm,
I want to know in your homes, back at home when you go back to your wife and how you are running your homes. What plans do you have for your children? Unaona mnafinywa pikipiki, mafuta inafinywa na mnazaa. Do you have a plan? And most of them wanasema unajua serikali. So that is the issue. Serikali ni wewe na mimi.
yeah.
Okay? It is you.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
we need to start having conversation as men now. Sasa hii hata si maneno ya politics now. Real men, not these bitter male mnafuatanga hapa akina Professor Mona Samido. Those are boys, those are not men. Since they cannot
mm-hmm,
create anything. A man ni mtu ana create kitu inaonekana.
mm-hmm.
Hawa watu tumeweka kwa hizi ofisi and you look at them every day and expect them to give you a solution. They are not, because they also don't have solutions for themselves. So the solutions are going to come when we start having these conversations now on the ground and ignore what they are talking about out there, because that is not working.
Indeed, and I agree with you. And they are actually what you are saying. You're just confirming what has been researched. They have found out that politicians, as much as they went into politics thinking that they are going to represent your best interest, they found that they were only representing their own interests to be voted back in. Unaona? Now, when they realized that, they continued to fight Every time you see a politician, shout, they are shouting just to make sure they will be voted back in. Not because they care about you're going to have a road, you are going to have a school, or you are going to have a hospital. No, they are shouting back just to make sure they are going to be voted back in to support your point.
Yeah,
And I
but they
tell
even said,
people, hey, please do not think that the politician is there to support your agenda. They are only there. Unajua hao watu wanalipo, in aggregate wanalipo 1.1 million. So they will tell you everything and nothing and everything to make sure hey, oh yeah, you unaweka hiyo vote kwake. And it is, na mimi naambianga watu, it's only fair. That's the best thing he can do. As long as he can get your vote, umrudishe hapo for 5 years. He's comfortable. So he has no reason to support your agenda. Wewe shinda hapo ukisema ati hatuna barabara, sijui hatuna shule, sijui basari. Mi uliza watu, who told you the MP went there for your bursary? Akipatiwa 1.1 million kila mwezi, watoto wake wamesoma. Do you think he cares about your children really? Really? Come on, give me a break. Mtoto yake si anaenda private school automatically.
yeah.
Wewe unasema alienda hapo kutureplace. We rugama na iguru kana wikare thi. He doesn't care.
Yeah, and the thing is, we don't even want them to care. Wacha president akae hapo, watu wakae hapa na waibe, we care, let them stay there. However, when it comes back to us now, sasa sisi wenyewe, kwa sababu sisi ndio tuko on the ground, how are we going to be sure that kwa mashinani, that easy vitu, that when you have a crop, you have enough crop to eat for yourself and sell? Kwa sababu it is venye kama umesema, it is very disappointing that we have a trade deficit of trillions of shillings while lying in the best soil in the equatorial Africa, the best soil, the best weather and everything, but we cannot export anything. But the key word is, let us be isolated and scrap all these trade and agreements and we start afresh. Kwa sababu these things are not meant to help us in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, they are not. They are not.
Tuwache kuangalia wale wako tunasema baby boomers, they are done. Let's stop looking at the rooters. Those people, hawa watu wakati wa Moi, those people are old. Their ideas cannot work. Hawa watu watoto wakwende kabisa. Hata wacha wakae hapo, tuwalipe wakae hapo. Wacha wakae hapo, wacha wakule wakae hapo. However, we need a whole shift on how we look at our business, how we look at our education. You have changed education in less than a few years twice. How we look at our entertainment, how we look at religion and everything. Kwa sababu, those are the 5 pillars that run the world. Business, education, entertainment, religion and sport. Hizi vitu tujue venye sasa, they have been zimewekwa na uongo. Zimewekwa ikiwa ya mzungu ni ya uongo. Trade has never benefited African man. So how can we change the trade where we don't even have to export to them? Kwani wao ndio wanaweza kunywa chai?
Yeah, hata sisi tunaweza kunywa chai.
Hata sisi tunaweza kunywa chai bana. So we change those trade and tariffs. But now to change them, we cannot change because our leaders ni wanaenda kusign hizo mikono, but we can change when akisign wakikuja kununua on the ground as cooperation tunasema hapana, sisi hatuuzi hiyo bei anasema. Hiyo bei anasema
hapana, hiyo sio bei.
Hiyo unaona, hiyo anasema macadamia ni 10 shillings, hiyo auze, sisi hatuuzi 10, sisi tunauza 100 na tunajiuzia na tunajiexportia as a private company. So
That could
people
work.
wanafaa to learn how to create communities that create cooperation, because cooperation run the world. Watu kama akina Super Metro, take your money, go invest in Rwanda, go invest in Tanzania, buy land, lease land, limeni huko, leteni hiyo pesa mkuje mkuze hiyo circle. But you make sure that all those people who are in that circle are becoming members of that community. Don't isolate anyone. That is how you grow as a country. Community.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching. I was watching hii mambo ya petroleum. Hii they have already labeled it. Wamesema ati hiyo mama, she doesn't look like 17 billion. Well, she doesn't look like 17 billion. But she was trying to shake a mogumo tree, but the problem is she was trying to use a kanyoi
Eh?
kawembe,
Eh?
because that's what it seems, and it's going to be an uphill task for her, to do whatever she's trying to do. But here's the thing. My question is, why is it mafuta in the international market ikienda juu, we pay the price. Ikirudi chini, why don't we enjoy the benefit? What happens?
You see, the thing is, first, do we have oil reserves? Because we should have oil that can sustain us for like 10 years without buying.
Yeah, yeah, we
We
should be
have oil
buying,
reserves. We don't. I think,
and
I,
my question is, why, what happened to our refinery?
that is a very good question. Huh?
What happened to our refinery?
Tuulize, for example, let's
Murkomen.
ask ourselves questions to do with oil. We discovered oil. Ikasemekana ngamia one mafuta inaendelea. So where is our update on our oil?
Mafuta yetu nisikia ati tulitoa tukaenda tukauza as it was, nikashindwa. I thought we had a refinery, but somebody told me ati hatunanga refinery ilifungwa.
Yeah, it's a lot of things, and the thing is that wale watu tumekuwa tukirely on them to talk about these things, or because we have been taking a center. I don't even like being in politics. I like taking a back role as an advisor and watching the. But the thing is that no one is speaking about these things. I've been looking, and no one is talking about these things now. No one is alerting the people on the ground venye hizi vitu zinafanya kazi. So is it time now we start getting on the ground civic education, diverting our funds to let the people know sasa what do we do now? Because that's the question now. And the
Yeah,
youth
kwa
ndio
sababu ni
wako.
kubaya, kwa sababu kama tuna produce mafuta
Hmm?
alafu tunasikia imeenda wapi? I thought it's supposed to go to Kenya oil refineries, alafu iturudie tugurumishe magari yetu. Nilisikia sijui ilienda wapi. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever had.
Conversation for another day.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with you. And it's interesting.
You see, the thing is that these people they shy away from these conversations. However, I'm going to start a political slot, not just for politics, but they cannot continue shying away from this. Tutakuwa tunamuita hapa moja TikTok, we use what we have. Anatagiwa kwenye hapo, anakuja hapa not to be question, anakuja tunamuuliza, okay, so now tell us, because wewe ndio kwa hii docket, tuambie What are your plans for the youth?
yeah, tupe, maoni
Yeah.
yako, tupe, wosia wako.
Na kama huna ni sawa, si lazima ukuwe
Mm.
nao, si lazima akuwe nayo.
Uh,
Kama hauna unasema hauna, tunamwambia mm.
yeah, cause what I'm finding is we are going through a difficult time in Kenya.
Yeah.
And the difficult time that we are going through is because even those that have been mandated to do the right thing, they are shunning away. Kama sahii nimesikia wameanza kusema unajua kuna kitu wanaita hii ilikuwa ya kulia
Mm.
national sijui trade nini
Yeah. Mm.
trade something nikashindwa sasa. Okay, hutaki tulete viti kutoka China, Mchina anatuletea kiti imepakiwa
Yeah.
hapa Kenya, mumefunga misitu. So how are we going to make a couch kama misitu mumefunga? You know, I found that ridiculous. I tried to make sense. Wanasema we are trying to promote jua kali, watujengea viti. But the question is, ndio watatujengea viti? Watatujengea viti na miti gani? Nyinyi kafunga misitu. I tried to answer that question. I found it so difficult and even to an extent ridiculous.
We have people who they're afraid of thinking.
I thank you. I think I agree with you with that when it comes to that one.
Yeah. For a bird to create a nest, the bird has to go outside and destroy a blade of glass ndio
Uh-huh.
itengeneze gitari.
Yeah.
For a beaver to create a dam, it has to cut trees. For a woodpecker to create, for you to create shelter, you have to destroy nature in one way or another.
Yeah.
That is normal. So
It's
misitu hata haina
imperative.
shida ya kukata misitu. Misitu inafaa ifunguliwe, watu wakate, lakini for a specific time, na inafungwa na inapandwa miti umea. Hata ukiangalia miti na
Yeah.
but again, we
Actually,
have,
the process is supposed to be as you cut, you plant.
you plant, yes.
Mm.
But sasa ile shida tuko nayo, the people we have,
Uh-huh.
they have a backward thinking of ubinafsi na kitu kidogo. And shout out to, what do you call this, Ladema, I think his name is Ladema, huyo alikuanga senator wa nywele kubwa. Walipanda miti mingi sana nione ilimea. So
Uh-huh.
we have oil deposits in Africa. Hata wacha niwache kusema Kenya. We have
Uh-huh.
minerals deposits in Africa. But the policies zenye zimewekwa, tunadanganywa ati tuki-exploit hizi policies zitatudestroy. Wacha zitudestroy. Let us get the money first, we'll use the money to repair.
Thank you. I support you on that one. Kwa sababu hiyo ingine ni kutufungia, wanatufungia inaitwa nini?
Yes.
Ni kutudhimira riera.
Hiyo ni economic sabotage. Hiyo ni kutubeba ufala. We know these things. Huh? So let's have leaders who be like akina stupid akina Akuria, wacha hiyo ujinga wako nayo. They should know, wacha plastic zikuje. Let those plastic seeds come here kwa sababu sisi ndio tumefunga misitu. Kama hatutaki plastic, tufunge plastic, we revive the local industry. Then we put in measures to take care of whatever that is going to come. Kama ni miti, tutajua tutapanda miti, tutafanya hizi vitu, but tuache hii knee-jerk reaction of pleasing the you wanasema.
Yeah, because it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous wao kutuambia ati sijui carbon. Mimi let me tell you, mutu ya pale jua kali akinitengenezea kiti is going to cost me 50,000. Ikikuja kutoka China, I'm going to buy it for 25,000. I'm going to buy it even for 15,000. Who cares where it comes from? As a consumer, me, I want the cheapest.
Yeah, you want the best price and quality.
And quality. Na kama hiyo the same kiti itatoka China na inifikie hapa at the same quality, at the lowest price, oh, good luck. Hata uniambia ati ulitengeneza ati kutoka ati Mau Forest. Hiyo ni shida yako. Mimi nitanunua hiyo ya China. I don't give a fuck. Na ni ukweli. You see, people tend to forget one thing. Unga ya ugali. I don't care who makes it. As long as nikikula mara ya kwanza nisikie, it tastes like, your favorite. Let's say your favorite is Jogo ama Hostess. Ukikula mara ya kwanza usikie ni kama ni Hostess. You do not care kama ni imekuja kutoka India ama imetoka kutoka Uganda ama imekuja kutoka Kiambu. You don't care. Unasema direnda taurera nyenderia ira. As long as the price and quality, like you said, price and quality are constant, and especially prices lower, ingine ni hadithi.
Ingine ni story.
Ingine stories.
So I have naona kuna watu wamekuja kwa gate. Naona kuna watu wamekuja kunivisit pale kwa gate. So I'm going to end this live. And then we are going to have this live in the evening.
Okay. Sangapi?
I think we can do it at 9. We are going to continue this 8:30 to 9. We are going to have an interactive conversation on the things on the ground. And then we'll start talking about these things because now people need to see a different perspective. Nimeona watu wanapota tu nizo ajui venye vitu kwa ground zinawaka. Okay? So that we can have few collective mindsets coming together and start, because we need to create cooperation to fight back. This is an economic sabotage. Na hatuwezi fanya na politics ama kuenda kwa. This has to be again done through the money, the cooperations na vitu kama hizo. So shout out to you, Doctor. Asante sana for come through.
Asante sana.
And I'm going to follow you, Doctor, and then we'll have a conversation, and then we can have this conversation. Shout out to you for coming through, and shout out to everyone for being in the comments. And
Thank you. Nyoba.